Yo, what's going on, guys? We have a really interesting build today. I had some people ask for the best CDM build, and this is a build that I made at the end of last year. Not quite at the end, like in the middle of the year, like for for a CDM that plays with me. He wanted to be able to win headers, but also like pass out the back and be, decently fast. So this is a very similar build. There are a couple changes to the way it was built last year because the FIFA is a little different. But basically, it's a 6'1", 147-pound CDM. This is like the perfect balance between everything. Like the sprint speed is pretty low, but the CDM is the slowest build in the game, other than probably goalkeeper. So this is what you want to go: 6'1", 147 pounds. Obviously, for gameplay, you want the midfield and defensive role. The foot doesn't matter. Whatever you're most comfortable with is what you want to go with. If you like being a lefty, then okay, you're a lefty, righty, whatever. And that's up to personal preference. And yeah, that's basically it. Just going over it a little bit. If you move this up, you see you gain strength, but you lose a couple other stats that are a little bit more important, because you can equip a little bit of strength. The other one, and it's not that expensive, skill point wise, to improve the strength. Acceleration and sprint speed are very expensive to increase. Sprint speed drops a little bit lower when you go with lower weight, but your acceleration is a little bit more important, and your agility. Your agility goes up, I believe, 4 points, and your sprint speed goes up like about another 4 points as well. So, and I'm gonna get it now into the skill points, which is a little bit. It's the interesting part. This is where you really make the build unique. So starting off, you want to get a second wind. I'll recommend second wind for every single build that you make, except maybe center backs. There's a couple other things you can put in the center back builds, but for now, you get second wind. You get all the jumping that you can. See, the jumping is very high. It's a 92 jumping. The stamina is decent. It's at 86. So the strength, normally the strength would be, I believe, in the 74. See, your strength would be very low. And as you can see, the way I equipped it makes the strength pretty high. You can still, I don't know if that's maxed out strength. Right there, it shows that it's maxed out. I believe you can still go a little higher. Your reactions are decent, and your aggression, you can't affect that in this, but it's overall your physical stats are very well balanced. The jumping was the important one, and your stamina is pretty high. Your reactions are also very good. For defending, pretty straightforward. If you're playing any defensive position, you always want to max out all of the defensive stats. Just get as much defense as you can. Interceptions, defensive awareness, standing tackle, slide tackling. It's all in the high 80s except for defensive awareness. That was 82, but that one will, it'll go up as your player gets better. Now let's get into the dribbling. A lot of people do not equip agility when they're using a CDM build, which is important. You want to equip agility and balance. With agility, you're able to, when you receive the ball, do proper turns, really good turns, and avoid players instead of taking like a heavy touch and having the ball go away from you. Balance is important because when you receive the ball, if someone puts pressure on you, you don't want your player to stumble and fall over, or give the ball away, or take a really heavy touch and not be able to move properly to the ball. So agility is one of the most important stats in the game, and balance is good for, like, you're going to be a CDM, you're going to be coming in contact with a lot of players, so you want high balance. Dribbling is not as important. You're never going to be really moving forward with the ball. Ball control is decently important, but it's already the highest stat that you have, just because we already got some ball control over here. We got a couple of ball control points. So, that one's not too important to add on. Definitely no skill points. You don't want to add any of that. No flair traits, none of that. You just want high agility and balance. And then ball control is already high as it is, so we don't need it equipped anymore. Okay, so now we get into the passing. Definitely don't add any crossing. You are sitting in the middle of the field. You want high long passes and short passing. So when you receive a ball, you want to be able to pass quickly. We already have high agility, so you're going to take a decent touch. You want to have high short passing, so you can pass to the player nearest to you. And, combine a couple passes together, get out of the box, get out of the danger zone without having to, clear the ball out. And you want high long passing. So when you get the ball deep into your half, you're able to send the ball on a long run if someone is making a good run. And you know, short passing is just good for any midfielder in general. You don't want to add any crossing though. Like I said, you're never going to be crossing, even though it means you don't get this kind of curve here. Not needed. It's not needed. You're not going to be requiring to use any of that. Now, as for shooting, you don't want any of that. You don't want any shooting. You don't want any of the headering. You know, this is a build strictly for defending. You will have chances to score, obviously. Like, it happens when you make a run and your shooting isn't terrible. Like, all these stats aren't bad. Like, if you're good, this is enough for you. You're not going to be in situations where you need to score a banger. You might be going into the box and doing a tap-in. That doesn't take high finishing, or headering accuracy is decently high already. You're not going to need to focus too much on that. So, like I said, no skill points on shooting. But now we get into pace. Now, I am missing 5 skill points. That's going to go right here into acceleration and sprint speed. And once my player is maxed out, my acceleration and sprint speed should be like in the mid 80s, and sprint speed should be like in the low 70s. So it'll be a decent build. Speed wise, you don't need crazy pace in the midfield. So I just equipped this so that he's not a slug. You don't want 62 sprint speed. Like, you're basically using Tony Kroos out here. But yeah, this is the best defensive CDM build in the game. It's very balanced physical. It's very balanced in the physical aspects. It's really high up in the defensive aspects. The dribbling is the key part of the build. When you get the ball back, you're able to distribute really well, and you're not taking heavy touches. That's a common theme with a lot of CDMs, where either they're taking too long to get the ball out, their players taking slow touches, and they just get ripped in the back. So the agility helps with that. The balance helps when they get challenged on the ball. The passing, obviously, you don't need any crossing, curve, not really. You know, you're in the middle of the park. Long passing and short passing is really key for those positions. No shooting stats. Honestly, like, some people might put them on because they think you might need them. You don't need them. You don't need any of that. Pace, this is optional. You could equip them somewhere else. I would personally, with the height of the build and the weight, I would put this on. It increases the pace, and then once you have completed the build, both those stats should be nearing the 80s. Like, acceleration will definitely hit 80 something, mid 80s, and then sprint speed should be like low 70s, mid 70s. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Go ahead and test out the build. Let me know what you think of it. If you like it, if you don't like it, if it works better than yours. Let me know. I want to know how you guys are liking the build. I know that the cam build got a lot of support, and I hope this one, it works for you. I can make any build you guys want. If there's a certain style you want to play, like a different type of CDM, let me know. You can look at the best type of height, weight, skill point combination for it. And yeah, so guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support, and we'll see you on the next one.